पहले तो श्रीमती शर्मिला काफले को मेरा प्रणाम। ये वही टीचर है जो मुझे 22 साल पहले मिली थी Pearl Academy में। And I remember when I entered the class, I said, "What a beautiful looking lady." If she's going to teach me, we're sorted. Little did I know that she would turn out to be the most strict lady at Pearl. पर हमने पीछा नहीं छोड़ा, हम इनके पीछे लगे रहे, इनको परेशान करने में। और मेरी और 3-4 मेरे ऐसे दोस्त थे Pearl Academy में जिनके साथ ये हमारी जर्नी शुरू हुई, सबको परेशान करने की जर्नी। Because according to me, passion has always been about having fun. A lot of parents and most of you may not know anything about me, so I'll give you some heads up on who I am and how I got this far. I remember class 6, my brother Shantanu, and many people also don't know that Shantanu is my brother. In class 6, I remember while he was in class 8, every morning we used to get ready to go to school. रात को वो सफेद जो हमारी यूनिफॉर्म थी, सफेद यूनिफॉर्म को वो अलग से रख देता था. And I used to be dabbling in the morning looking for the cleaner uniforms and I could never find it. Shantanu quickly used to wear that uniform and get ready for school, while I would still be dabbling to look for a well-ironed shirt or the right white crisp trouser. It never did happen. I could never get the right uniform to go to school in. So what I started doing is I decided to make my own uniform out of my white jeans. And I remember my enzyme wash white shirt. A lot of the teachers used to look at me and say, "ये uniform तो नहीं लग रही है, ये क्या पहन के आए हो?" So I said, "Uniform है, वो धोबी ने बड़ी गंदी तरीके से धो दी इसको." So I found creative ways to wear my uniform, and little did I know that it's going to start turning into a bit of a trend. By class 8, everybody knew Nikhil Mehra in school to be wearing mad clothes and jeans and folded up with those keds that the tongue used to come out. And the back of my head was a little shaved with an alphabet written on it. So it was pretty crazy. A lot of people in school thought I was crazy, and only because I started following my dream of making sure that I look good. I'm sorry guys, I'm too close to the mic, I know, but I feel that you might not be able to hear me. By the time I got to class 10, I was fully convinced that education is not for me. Clearly, because Shantanu always used to get 85% in every class of his, and I used to be crying to just barely pass. Class 10th was a big debacle for me. I got a total of 44% in my board examination. I know काफी लोग ऐसे होंगे और काफी लोग ये भी कह रहे होंगे कि बच गए, हम भी बोल में आ गए. At 44%, I went to the counselor and I went with my sheet and I said I want sciences. So the counselor looked at me and said, "Nikhil, you want sciences with 44%?" I said, "Yeah. I mean, I like biology, and I also do like architectural drawings. I like to either be an architect or a doctor." She says, "Yeah, but at 44%, I can't give you anything. But arts." I said, "But I hate history. I would hate to study history. I hate history. I hate everything about Indian history." So he says, "But I'm sorry, at 44%, I can only give you arts." I couldn't understand why the hell is this guy giving me arts, because history, to remember dates itself, you have to be so intelligent. So, anyways, I was very disappointed with school. I wanted to be an architect or a doctor. I loved finding out and exploring things inside of animals. Dissection would have been an awesome environment to be in. Although the girls are very ugly there, but the idea would have been really good. Having said that, I ended up getting arts. So class 11, arts, I go into my first class, my history teacher looks at me, I'm looking out of the window. She said, Mehra sahab, kahan dekh rahe ho? So I said, ma'am, history mujhe pasand nahi hai. She was, get out of my class then. I said, are you serious, ma'am? एक बार मैं गया तो वापस नहीं आऊँगा. She said, आप पूरे साल के लिए चले जाइए. I said, awesome. पूरा साल के लिए. Sorry, I have to tell them where I'm coming from. Otherwise, कैसे सीखेंगे? So I stayed out of class for 6 months. Kuch na kuch karke, I never went back to class, and then finally, end of the year, I went back to class. She goes, where have you been, Mr. Mehra? I said, well, ma'am, you asked me to stay out of class for a year. She goes, and you took me seriously. I mean, I didn't miss you in class, but you should have come back to class to study. I said, well, I don't like history, ma'am, and I've been, very adamant about the fact that I like design, I like art. I don't like political science, I don't understand civics. I don't like history. So she said, acha, theek hai. So now it was me and her ego. Class 11 examination happened. I thought I did okay. Examination day, when the result came out, I went, I remember, with my mother to school. And as I entered, Mrs. Rehman, Mrs. Singh, and Mrs. Kaur, the three lovely teachers who used to quite dislike me, were standing there and saying, "Aye, Mr. Mehra, aapne to is saal bhi kamal kar diya." So I said, "What happened, ma'am? Have I done well?" "You've done very well. You've failed in all 3 subjects, and you've failed class 11." That day was a turning point of my life. I realized that I love art, but there are people who don't want me to accept it because they don't believe in it, and they don't believe in me. That was the turning point of my life. It was a huge failure in my mind, not because they failed me, but because I didn't learn what I could have done through them as a medium of being my teachers. So I went back to the same school, to the same class, with another set of students who came from class 10, sat next to me, while my friends went to class 12. I went through the entire year following my dream of studying art and design. I then went and got myself enrolled in the art class, which was mainly for women and for girls, but I still did it because I believed in art. My dream started coming true from class 11, second year. And by the time I graduated from class 12, I got an 85%. And only because I failed class 11. So, failure is the key to success. If somebody tells you, and you speak to your parents, a lot of you must have spoken to your parents and convinced your parents, कि डैड मॉम मुझे ये करना है, बिलीव करो, आई विल बी एबल टू डू इट, मेरे में है क्षमता करने की. पेरेंट्स से कहा बट बेटा वो सब तो ठीक है, इतना सारा पैसा हम दे रहे हैं, तुम कैसे करोगे, और अगर नहीं हुआ तो कहाँ काम करोगे, तुम्हें लोग क्या बोलेंगे कि तुम कपड़े बनाते हो, दर्जी हो. ये होता है, लोग पूछते हैं ऐसी चीज़ें, they speak about it, and a lot of parents are not able to convince or tell their student or tell their children that they're scared for them. But the fact is that if your children are coming to you, excuse me, if your children are coming to you and saying, "Dad, I want to be a designer," or "Mom, I want to be an interior architect, मैं घर बनाना चाहती हूँ," तो क्यों आप उसको रोकोगे? या आप डिबेट भी क्यों करोगे? जब जो वो छोटे थे, वो कहते थे कि "Dad, I want to go out and play," you let them do it. Or to solve a puzzle, you were happy to get them puzzle books and say, "Okay, beta, ye puzzle banao." They were happy to do it. So why now would you question and debate whether they are in the right profession or not? And India में मैंने ये बहुत देखा है कि हम लोग ज़्यादातर वो चीज़ें करते हैं जो हमें लोग कहते हैं कि हमें नहीं करना चाहिए, या लोग कहते हैं कि ये फैशन डिज़ाइन क्या चीज़ है, सब बॉलीवुड के लिए, सब ग्लैमर के लिए लोग करते हैं, इसमें काम क्या है? What is the respect as a designer? You have to let that out. when we make our collections in our factories, हमें पता है हम लोग क्या काम करते हैं. दिन रात कपड़े बना रहे होते हैं, हर कंडीशन के अंदर 250 लोगों को संभाल रहे होते हैं, उनकी फैमिलीज को फीड कर रहे होते हैं, टैलेंट को ला रहे होते हैं वेस्ट बंगाल से, डाउन साउथ, हर जगह से, भागलपुर से कपड़ा आ रहा है, इंडस्ट्री चला रहे हैं, स्किल को इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं. I'm not saying being an accountant or an engineer is not a good job, but what we do, we are transforming people's lives on a daily basis. We are helping India keep its heritage, we are helping India grow and revive its heritage through craftsmen, through skilled people. And when they get a chance to make beautiful outfits, the tailors, the masters, the dispatch managers, the cleaning people, they are all proud of that incredible journey. So when you tell your kids that, beta, think about this, why are you doing this? You must also think about the millions of people who will get affected if you say no. So my idea to be here today is to obviously tell you about my crazy life, but also to tell you that every crazy thought also affects millions of people. And as Indians, we are the most creative lot in the universe. I have traveled a lot in the past few years. My business has helped me to travel a lot. I've met people from across many genres and businesses. And I got to tell you, Indians have a natural intensity of design because we come from a very colorful background. We're the only country that in a room like this right now, I see about 25 colors already. Nowhere in the world you can sit in an audience of 200 people and there'll be more than 6 colors. This country has the ability to actually transform the worlds and the lives of many people only if you believe in your kids that they can do it. Now the next question would be, do you know what you're doing? How many people are doing this because they think that they should do this? That itself is a very scary thought, that you think that this is a good opportunity to be a part of. I meet a lot of designers, I also get a lot of assistants who come to me to get jobs, but they're not clear about why they're doing it. It is so important to have that clarity at least. Agar aap log yahan par aaye hain, and I see a lot of parents, so I do know that you're convinced to be here. But if there are some who will be, there have to be some people who are not completely convinced. This would be a good time to start speaking to your teachers and be real about the fact that you want to be a fashion designer or an interior architect. Because if you lie to yourself today, I can assure you in the next 4 years, you're not going to make any difference to anyone's life. And one thing about Pearl Academy is that as a student of Pearl, I have understood and have realized that the smartest people come out of Pearl because they are constantly being told and given the right direction. A lot of people like me who are lost, they put me back on track, put me back on track. Mrs. Khatri used to do that all the time. And I thank her for it. You know, we used to really despise her at that point because you say every time we come to class, she's giving us more work, she's making us work so hard for what, man? We're going to be fashion designers, we're going to party. She's like, no, you need to know what you're doing. And it's so important to have people like her to ensure that she gets you back on track. Because designers, creative people have a natural tendency to never take the straight road. They'll always go, acha, and they'll take a left turn. It's so important for people like Mrs. Khatri to keep getting us back on track. And that you have to realize that there is a bit of question mark in my thinking whether I really want to be a fashion designer, or would I be better as a stylist, or would I be better as a makeup artist. Need to talk, keep talking, communication. Fashion is all about communication. Is how you feel, how you dress. When you look at someone, you say, I like the way this person dresses, I must go and compliment. You must go and compliment. You must talk to people about design. And that's going to help you to come back to square one, the midline. Focus back on who you are. I'm super excited. After 22 years, I'm back on a podium that I never thought I would be. And thanks to Gandhi, who did all this for us, that I'm able to be a fashion designer and not just a darji. There's a huge opportunity for all of us. I'm I like to be a fun guy. I also want this opportunity to talk to you guys. If any parent has any question, any doubt, anything you want to talk to me about, I can leave the floor open to you right now. If there's any question anyone has, you can raise your hand. It could be as stupid as the color of my tie, anything at all. If there's any question. You have a question? No. Sorry, no one has a question.
Maybe after your
So I don't know what else to say. I think that Jaipur in itself is a great opportunity. My next collection is inspired by the Mehrangarh Fort of Jodhpur, so I'm super excited to be here. Rajasthan is really the epitome of Indian fashion. I think, at least from menswear perspective, Rajasthan is like the Milan of India. It's got so much heritage. It's got so much design capability. The fact that you guys are in Jaipur, please do remember that people outside of our country look at Jaipur as a huge opportunity. If you guys are in Jaipur, please recognize where you're from. A lot of us in creativity, we feel that, yeah, I want to be like that person, I want to design like this person. No, focus on where you're coming from. And as a designer, as you start making your collections, please go back to your roots, go back to the drawing board from where you came, from the city you belong to, because inevitably, and the future will be, your collections are going to always have references of where you're coming from. Many of the designers, their collections are also based on their lifestyle and their upbringing. They always put those color palettes in it, and I'll tell you how it comes. For example, Ralph Lauren. I'll give you that example because everybody knows Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren came from a very humble background. His mom and dad were not rich. He used to work in a stable. He used to see a lot of people play polo. And he looked at them, he says, you know what, I want to be like this guy. I've been in the stables for so many years, giving food to the horses and this and that. But when the horses come out and people are playing polo on them, it looks so cool, it looks so stylish. I really want to be a rich guy, and I want to make clothes like these people wear. And within 6 years of him having that thought, he ended up doing a small collection of ties which had a polo horse with a stick, with a mallet. And that became the highest selling tie in America. In a span of 2 seasons, that changed his life. And he continues, even till today, being a $3 billion company, till today, the polo sign, we all know, we've also picked up many fakes as we were growing up. I remember I used to pick up some of those fakes because I didn't have the money, but I had the aspiration to wear a polo t-shirt. And that is a brand that again resonates the fact that you go back to your roots. So this is a very good opportunity for you to recognize that in the next 5 years when I come back here and I see some of you presenting collections in Delhi, in Bombay, I will recognize the fact that you guys did listen and focus on your roots. But that is very important. If you've been a musician, if you like conversation, if you like writing, use that into your collections and keep going with the same thing, keep going with the same thing. And then you realize that finally the world will take notice. For example, if Sachin Tendulkar was an off spinner, who would even know him? Because he was a batsman and he focused on it, he kept on focusing for 25, 30 years, only batting. The world got to know him. So there are clear examples in the world today that talk about people fixing or constantly working on what they're good at. So the first 6 months in Pearl Academy, focus on what you're good at and make mistakes. If this course is not for you, speak to your counselors, make some changes, shuffle things around. But if you don't know what you're good at, I can guarantee you, even Mrs. Katre won't be able to help you. Because deep down, you need to know what you're good at. And the only way you can get to know what you're good at is through yourself. Your parents can't help you, your dadis can't help you, your best friends can't help you, your girlfriend also may not be able to help you. Only you. And it took me many years. The first journey was to find out what I liked. I wanted to do art, I wanted to paint, I wanted to take cricket, sport, I did that. But what happens next? When I got into Pearl, what next? Now, my Pearl experience, it wasn't the best. Not because they weren't good, because I didn't know what the hell I wanted. So I used to meet Mr. Nair, and Mr. Nair always used to look at me and look down. And he says, what happened, Nikhil? I said, Mr. Nair, I'm thoroughly confused. My perception of Pearl was very different from what it is. He says, but what happened? I said, I didn't come here to stitch. All I'm doing is stitching. And I don't look good stitching. So he says, yeah, but that's the curriculum. You have to do it. Everybody does it. I said, but I'm not everybody. I don't want to stitch. So have opinions. You know, they don't always, opinions are not bad. You must have an opinion. You must be strong in how you think. You must say, I don't like this. Don't go with the fact, this is nice. It's okay. Like when I'm hiring people and they come to me, my direct assistant, Ankit, so we have conversations about design. So when we make something or if I create something and it's come onto the dummy, I ask him, Ankit, what do you think? He says, sir, I don't think this is a Shantanu Nikhil philosophy. I said, okay. Why do you think? He says, I think the sleeve length is a little long. We're known more for shorter, more fitted, a little bit sexy. I said, I agree with you. Let's sort it out. So there's no ego there. There is constant focus on what our virtues are, who we are as designers, who we are, who am I as a person, what kind of fit do I like. Once you start resonating that, your team automatically will start knowing you as a person. And then the clothes will be exactly how you like them. So you must have an opinion. If you don't have an opinion, start developing an opinion. Now, many people will not like you. It doesn't matter. As long as you love what you're doing. If you are in a party or if you're in a conversation and you make an opinion strong enough for people to recognize that this guy thinks differently or this guy is a little crazy, it's good. Because when they go home, they're going to think about you. And they're going to say, this person has got such a strong opinion, I don't like this person. That's good. They should either love you or hate you. Nobody likes guys who open the door and you pass them and you don't ever see them again. Those guys are like popcorn. There are millions of those people. You need to be unique. The fact that you're sitting here today, I'll tell you, not just you guys are unique. Your parents are unique. For the fact that they believe in you and they got you here to sit next to you. I can see a lot of parents. But I must tell you, the fact that you got your kids sitting on this chair with you, I salute you because you're an open mind person. So I think a big round of applause for the parents. It's a proud moment for them. And keep this belief going on. There will be a lot of pitfalls for designers and architects. It's a creative industry. There will be a lot of ups and downs. Please do recognize the fact that creative businesses are not like engineering. They're not like doctorates. They are not about finding things and delivering them. This is about pure creation. It is about a thought that comes in your mind. A few days later, it is on somebody's body or in someone's house. It is an incredible journey and you're a part of that. So now from today onward, you'll start seeing your kids make new things, create new things. All they need is happiness. Believe in them. The fact that you believe in them and they are here today, continue the belief. Don't ever for a moment think that they cannot do it. Because the day you tell your children, beta, ye tumne kyun kar diya, their lives will be shattered. Then they'll have to restart the journey again. Do not ever do that to your kids because I'll tell you, a lot of people, when they go out in the industry, a lot of people will do that to them. There'll be writers from different newspapers, journalists will be writing, what collection this one made. It's not nice. They could have done and used a better palette. They'll be constantly be judged. When I go to parties and I meet people at different forums, they're always judging. How are you? It's good to see you. I really like that collection of yours that you made. But you know, I wasn't sure of the color. Hey, hell with you. The fact that we are constantly judged. Now, if I come back home and I'm feeling like crap, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to tell me that I'm good? Because we need constant adulation, we need constant belief. And so you guys are most critical. So when you leave this room today, I think you must recognize the fact that now your kids are going to be babies again. You take care of them like you did when they were 4 years old. That they didn't know enough. You took care of them at every point, at every time. And that's why your journey starts again. On that note, have a wonderful, wonderful time in Pearl Academy.